We're gonna make this shit happen.
We're gonna get it done, Todd. We're gonna get it like that.
That's fucking crazy. I've never seen that before.
You know what? Now it's time for that cigarette.
That's some crazy shit. That's
Hey, Dad.
some crazy fucking shit. Okay,
Tech support.
So
can we have some tech support?
Let me tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna rebook it.
What do you think?
It's acting funny.
It's doing something I've never seen. It's fucking going crazy. It's like, it ain't gonna block this energy because this is gonna be pure. I'm telling you right now. All right, so let me reset it up.
It's offline, but it's trying to go online. Like keeps missing connection.
And that's very strange. Yeah. It ain't good. Hang on. We'll fix it. We'll be back on 5 minutes. I don't think a router could be blocking for some reason, do you? There shouldn't be anything set in it.
There shouldn't be a reason to.
It did work. Look, a bunch of people on it. They saw something. Might have to go raise that real quick.
Shit.
Okay.
That's just fucking looking stupid on it.
All right. Hang on. Here we go. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it.
Hey, Harley, bud.
There you are.
Hey, buddy.
Big boy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I am enjoying my lunchtime, Dad.
You come here, buddy.
Basically, I'm tired. I'm ready to bed. And Nixie says, I have my own chair. I'm good. So,
We're on. We're on, so everybody be aware of the fact that we're on. All right? All right, here we go.
Sorry, bud.
We're going to have a conversation about whatever the hell's going on. All right. Sorry about the
Technical difficulties.
hang on, let me make sure that part's on. Yeah, it's on. It's on. All right. Hold on. There we go. All right. All right. So we're going to talk about what's happening right now, right?
Okay.
You know, from three different.
What are you doing?
It's not me.
From
My
three.
Bluetooth's off.
Yeah. All right. So from three different perspectives, what the hell's going on? Let's take everything into account. You know? Everything. All the stuff on the movie script, all the stuff that's coming into us personally. Like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Well,
So who wants to start? You? Timothy?
what aspect of it do you want to like?
Like I mean, as
What's
a-
literally
as
happening,
like-
or do you
like
want to talk
you-
about what they're trying to create as a facade?
well, like you wake up in the morning and you're Timothy and your soul. And whatever's out there, what's that been like? Is it consuming you? Is it, you know, triggering you? I don't know. What's your experience been like? Because the world has changed a lot 2020.
Well, considering Probably the last of the millennials, born in 1995. You know, I'm 24 years old. I was there right when the internet exploded. I remember what it's like to not have internet because there was only dial-up 1995 up to 2001. I don't know. It's a weird mix of experiences because I was raised in the foothills of Arkansas. I don't have it. I do not have a typical childhood because there was a lot of nature, running around barefoot, playing in the mud, and I don't feel like there's a lot of kids that had that experience growing up.
Wow. Wow. Well, I know you're an ET.
An ET.
So was it the same for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
I took more to the technology aspect of things, but I was naturally more inclined to gathering information, learning as much as I could.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I was very curious.
You guys are what, like 2 years apart?
3 years.
3 and 3 months.
3 or 3 months. 33. Yeah. Have you felt like, Timothy, have you felt like a change going on in 2020?
Well, there's been. Yeah, I'll try and scoot up next to you so you don't have to look back so far.
Come
to
over
talk to
here.
you. I know. There.
No, scoot this way. There
It's
you
a
go.
it's a
There
hobnob
you go.
setup, but we're gonna make it work.
Bring yourself over here. We got plenty of room.
Yeah.
The seats.
There you go. There you
We're
go.
good. We're
Come
doing
on,
good
Josh,
now.
this way a
But
little bit.
what was your question again? I'm sorry.
I mean, like 2020. I mean, regardless
2020.
of
the
who,
change.
yeah, regardless of who's, you know, they're spiritual or religious or political or whatever the case is. In your own space, do you think like things have changed a lot in 2020?
Well, knowing how much like it goes back to having a little weird of a childhood because I had military parents, so I know literal history because that was a big deal to them because they didn't want me to misunderstand history. So there's a lot of reading as a kid, and I relate everything to the past because if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
Just personal viewpoint, but everything's been changing since the 80s. Really.
True.
Everything.
But has this
that's
year,
the point I was trying to get
feel
to.
like this year's
In
going
2020,
faster?
it's the accumulation. I don't think
Yeah.
that it's going faster or slower. I try not to look at time like that because I try to keep my mind as busy, the same, like as constant as I possibly can.
Yeah.
If I'm not being active physically, I like to be active mentally. So
Yeah.
I do that 24/7. And I personally don't see, faster or slower unless I'm personally depressed or just really happy. Like it has to be emotionally
Grounded.
driven for me to be able to.
So when you go through those periods where you're like depressed, because I can relate to that, do you like not resist it, let it come in? I mean, like
I used to resist it
Yeah.
up until about 2 years ago. I mean, because I learned the hard way. So I didn't pay attention to people growing up. I paid attention to myself.
Me too.
So,
So I know what you're saying about the hard way.
I mean, ever since hitting about 2021, those are some real formative years for people, regardless of who you are.
Yeah.
And man, I keep losing your questions. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're doing fine. So Josh, man, you guys are brothers, 3 years and 3 months apart. One's really organic, one's kind of galactic. And like, I mean, how is that like, coming up in the family with your parents? Your parents are beautiful people. I know that the house was very cool. Everything was cool. But you're having these otherworldly experiences.
Well,
What was that like?
for a long time, I was living 2 different lives. There was all of my practicing, that was its own life, and then everything going on at home was kind of separate from that. I mean, I did talk to my mom about it some, and I talked to Tim about it too, but I never really I don't know. The only people I really talked to about were either people I was recruiting or people that had already been recruited.
Did you think he was crazy?
Well, that's a complicated question with how much history there is to it. Because there are different time periods where I was totally invested, and then there were time periods where, yes, I thought he was crazy. And as as you grow and develop, you know, you learn to put things in perspective. And I think a good way of putting me was organic. Like that's because I'm. It might be like a red flag or a flare for some people, but the word earthly, I don't think that's a negative adjective.
No,
because this is the experience we're meant to have, and that's why we're here, is to experience this existence.
I know, man.
So,
That's what really trips me out. Like, over the last month or so, in myself and watching whatever I've seen. I haven't been on social media a lot, but just what's been in my field is like, you can't get away from being human. Like, when I made the hashtag "the human is a hero," I had no idea what that meant. That was some kind of download or something. I mean, it's true. It's like you just said.
I agree.
We're here. We're physical. We are the living God. We are the living goddess. And that sounds religious and that sounds whatever, but the truth is, it's a fucking truth. It's a fucking truth.
Definitely.
Who's up?
What do we got?
Well,
What do you want to talk about?
there's a lot to talk about right now. It's almost like
Yeah.
sensory overload with
Right.
all the information that's been hitting everybody recently, and not just the news and the fact that America's on fire and that set the rest of the world on fire. And well, the rest of the world was already on fire pretty much.
So
but-
let me ask you this. With all that stuff going on, all that stuff we're all privy to that's going on, and then your own personal part of it, like, how do we most affect change or equality or whatever? Is it through the shit that we run through ourselves, or protesting, boycotting, marching?
Protesting there's a reason that's a right in America. Protesting, there's a reason that's a right.
No.
I lost the question. I got a little distracted. But yes,
It's all right.
The protesting,
I remember
it's
now.
There you go.
the protesting's okay, but in the Constitution, it specifically states peaceful protesting. And the reason for that is because the power of our voices alone in large number is what can create that change. That creates an immense pressure on them, because if they don't do what we want them to, they won't go back into government.
Well, if you
They
want to
won't
get
maintain their positions.
if you want to get totally technical and want me to play devil's advocate, to be on the opposite side of that, I would say that you do have a right to stand up to a tyrannical government. That's
is true.
actually the duty
That
of the
is true.
citizens.
So I think,
So-
we're
But then
talking,
it's just a matter of defining.
What is a tyrannical government?
Yeah.
That is up to the citizens.
or maybe we should just define what is sovereignty.
Well, that's
I mean, if we're sovereign at every level, the soul level, the human level, a lot of these discussions wouldn't have to be had.
the problem is we have dictionaries that are changing definitions of terms. I don't want to say any
I don't read
red
them.
flag words.
I don't read
but-
them. I ain't reading those motherfuckers. Sorry, we're just let's explain though.
Just
We're-
to prove a point, there's a debate going on. That's the point. It's like
Absolutely.
we have major dictionaries. We have
Yeah.
Merriam-Webster
Absolutely.
changing
Absolutely.
definitions right now, and it's
Well, let's explain. I came to Arkansas about 12 days ago, 12 days ago. And We're here at Aaron and Pam Pearson's on their land, on their 3 acres, building Soulogy with no stress of linear timeline. This is Josh, their son. This is Timothy, their other son. So we're going to start something where we're going to do like every Friday night and just have like a little go round. Somebody brings a guitar, harmonica, wants to dance, put some music on, whatever. Because I think everybody needs to chill out a little bit. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean like, hey, we came down here, we're doing the work, no matter what our memories are, they're not. And we're kicking ass. We're kicking ass. We are kicking ass.
You're gonna get it done.
We are.
Gonna get it
We
done.
are. You know, let's all stay open. And who's got a question or a comment?
Well, to just segue off of what you said, the building me and Josh have actually been working on, there's episode outlines made, there's different scripts being put together, research is being done, but we've only been trying to pursue this avenue for about 6 months.
So this is
This
like
is
like to
ITV.
do a show.
Yeah, the Into the Breach. The
Well, are you
network
going to
I
let
touched on
Soulogy
before.
broadcast this stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right on.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have actually been working like on a show, like
We
you
have
know,
there's a YouTube account. We've already reserved the name,
Right
we're
on.
not gonna lose a name.
Right on.
And like I said, there's just
And it's currently searchable. It doesn't have anything on it yet. We're still
Yeah,
compiling the information and everything.
hey, it's been 9 years. Sold you don't have a website yet,
Okay.
so don't feel bad.
We're just trying to cover.
No
our bases,
pressure on
really.
you, sir. Come on over here and talk to the people.
there goes the ad.
So, no, we just thought we would like start this thing where we would just hang out, you know. I mean, we're all going through a lot of stuff, man.
Mhm.
The energy itself doesn't even have any type of explanation. It's like it's coming in one way or the other for everybody.
It's a
It really
period
is.
of trials.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to have this sensory overload right now, and it's not just
Yep.
extra dimensional things that are pushing a sensory overload. There's also human
Human
yes,
there's
things,
real world things
Human
pushing sensory
things.
overloads that are also
especially the human things within ourselves, like our own journey and stuff. Like where you're like,
Absolutely.
man, how did I do that last night? One of those.
Absolutely.
But you know, you're right, and as within, without.
Absolutely.
So we're. I love what you said, man, because what we're watching is a direct reflection of what we're doing. You know,
That's
how are
yeah.
we facing this stuff?
as above, so below.
Exactly. How are we going? Hey, look what's going on out there. But you know, as opposed to where do I stand in this? Like, why am I seeing this? Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel this charge? You know. You're the scientist. What do you think?
Yeah. In what aspect of it? Because I do try to maintain to a scientific aspect, but there's a lot going on, and I try to keep an open mind. And me and Tim have had the conversation before, but I'm honestly kind of surprised nobody's really been mentioning the possibility that all of this has been predicted.
Oh, it has.
But like it's just
It has.
everybody's so silent about it, and I'm not really wanting to point anything out, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, it has been
Because-
predicted. It's been predicted and propagandized. It's been a lot of things, but the one thing that can't be predicted, what are we going to do from here?
Free will.
And what are we going to
Yep.
do with this knowledge we have, this power that we have, which is like, you said it. You said it.
Another analogy for it that I like to use, and I read this. I don't know. I haven't really looked for it, but I haven't also been able to find it since. But the Colburn Bible said something that really, and that's supposedly a collection of ancient texts from Greek, Egypt, Rome. It's supposedly, a pagan Bible. And this Colburn Bible, oh man, I'm trying to remember exactly what. I lose it every single
That's
time.
okay,
on it.
man. That's what happens with this energy. That whole
It's,
3D short-term memory
What was the
stuff.
start of What was the start of the question though?
I have no idea.
Because I'll pull it right back up, Josh. Were you even listening to it?
Yeah.
We were listening, but we were listening to you to see where it was
I
going.
was, yeah, I was figuring out.
But you know, I
shit.
think when it gets right down to it, it's like sitting around with your friends, with your brothers, with your sisters, and just chilling and being real and being like, hey man, this shit happened to me. Hey, you know what? What do you think about this? This rattled me, this triggered me, whatever. I think this is what we're really coming back to,
Yeah.
because you cannot align all that multidimensionality with the human. You can't do it. You can't do it. You came here to be what you said. We're here for a reason. That's what you said. Remember that?
I do. I remember that. for whatever reason, I remember that. Damn. One too many beer.
You drinking beer?
Drinking beer.
All right. Well, you guys, I don't have my glasses, but there's like 48 people on this page,
Yeah.
and there's probably a few on the others.
Nice.
But yeah, man. So thank you everybody
Absolutely.
for tuning in. We're gonna be doing this every Friday night.
Regroup, pick our pants up.
Hey, man. I am soul means I'm not afraid to show my ass. So welcome to the club. It's all good. And thank you, everybody.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Peace out.